Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, host of the Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. So you've got questions about your life, your career, your money, we're here to help. Open phones, 888-825-5225. Caleb is in Charlotte, North Carolina to start this hour off. Hi, Caleb. How are you?
Good, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can we help?
So I'm in the middle, or I guess I should say the beginning stages of starting a business, and I'm wondering if it is the best idea to take any profit and put it straight back into the business so I can keep doing it debt-free, or would it be better to take the profit and pay off personal debt, which would be, because right now we're in the kind of the middle stages of baby step 2 on our personal debt.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I currently have a full-time job, which is in addition to the business, so the business is separate.
Okay. And so you can get out of debt on your full-time job. Are you married?
Yes.
I'm married. Does your wife work outside the home?
No, my wife is a stay-at-home mom. We've got a
So what do you make in the day job?
About $140.
Good for you. Okay. How much debt have you got?
Right now, we're probably around $18,000.
Okay. Yeah, stop your whining and get out of debt. Really, seriously. 140 over 18? Knock it out, dude.
Well, it was a big jump recently, so.
Okay, good. I'm messing with you. But the bottom line is your numbers are fabulous. You got a big old shovel and a small hole.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just knock out that 18, and that's the good news. Now you got the side business, and you can afford to take all the side business and pour your money back in out of that. We're not borrowing money for business, ever.
Sure.
You will ensure your failure if you do, for multiple reasons.
Yeah, especially in a small business situation. I mean, this is throwing off a lot of cash. What is the expense that you're thinking about that you'd have to cash flow versus going to debt?
Well, it's not. So it's going to be a baseball training facility. We'll be leasing the building, so I won't be in debt for that. It'll just be equipment and how fast or how much equipment I want to start out with versus, just kind of growing a little more organically.
Yeah,
organically.
Stick with organic, man. It's just, you don't want to stress yourself out. And this, I'm guessing, is the dream. Is this something you eventually want to step into full time, or you want to keep it on the side?
Eventually I would like it to be full time. Baseball is kind of my background, has been for a long time, and the job I'm in right now I love. But it may not be more than a 10-year thing, so eventually I would like it to be able to support my family full time.
Sure. Well, good. Then organic is the way to go, or else that dream could become a nightmare. Dave's right. You just don't need debt on this, and you're so close
Here's
to
a couple
being
things.
debt-free.
Yeah, here's a couple things, Caleb, we teach in EntreLeadership on this. When you grow a business with actual cash, you purchase different things at a different speed than you do when you use other people's money. You're more careful about what you buy, and you're more careful about what you pay for what you buy, because it's like real money.
That's right.
And there's a reality to that. The second thing that happens is it forces you to grow, to make your purchases slower, and you're going to be learning about the business. You're going to get what we always laughingly call learnings, which are mistakes that leave scars. And you're going to learn stuff that would tell you not to purchase something that you might have if you'd gone ahead of the learning. And the cash holds you back and kind of keeps you, by dealing with only cash, it keeps you from going ahead of what you've got to learn yet. And so you don't make and then the third thing is, when we borrow, here's the deal. I've been doing this business for 30 plus years. 90% of my ideas suck. And this is a world-class, nationally known brand, and all the 10 million people that have gone through Financial Peace University, the 22 million people listening to this, all of that impact is because of about 10% of our ideas. The other 90% of our ideas, we survived them because they were stupid.
Yep.
And the problem is when you're going for your walk in the morning, or you're running in the morning, or you're sitting on the back porch with a cup of coffee, all your ideas are brilliant. And when you put them out there in the real world, you just determine that they're not. And when you borrow money into the wrong thing, you magnify the size of the mistake. Because you do stupid on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you use cash, it causes you to go at the speed of your learning. You'll make better purchases and more careful purchases, and you don't magnify your mistakes, because there's 100% of the time you're going to make mistakes.
It's brilliant. And one thing to add to that, Caleb, cash increases your innovation. Because if you're borrowing money, you go, I'm going to buy this equipment because everybody else does it. And when you got to go cash, you go, how do I teach the baseball swing? Or how do I do this without a bunch of fancy equipment? It really does increase your innovation, because when you don't have when you don't have the cash, but you still want to grow it, you go, how can I do this the least expensive way? And the imagination takes over, and that's what leads to innovation.
Craig Rochelle talks about this the other day.
I was just getting ready to mention him.
The limited resources. When you realize your resources are limited, and everybody's resources are limited, but the borrowing takes away that effect temporarily. But the limited resource forces the creativity.
That's correct.
And it forces you to get scrappy. And you scratch and you claw, and scrappy always wins. And some of the more shameful errors we have made at Ramsey were when we got a little bit fat. And we had a little bit of cash. We had a little bit of room. And we just went, well, we'll just buy that. And then all of a sudden, you lose that scrappiness. You lose that creativity. You lose, forcing to learn the techniques. Blocking and tackling goes to the side, and we think we're too good for it. And, and you're looking for an easy button, and there's just not a freaking easy button.
That's right.
So you're really doing a good thing here, Caleb. You're really doing a good thing. Yeah, you've got a great situation with a great day job to pay off your debts and to continue building your finances, and 100% of the profits on that business can go back into that business, grow it organically, grow at the speed of cash. You know, we built this building 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. The only thing the newspaper actually got right, because they never get anything right on me, they make up crap when they want to. But anyway, Ramsey is building the building at the speed of cash.
Yeah.
And that was the headline.
Oh, good.
And after you got past the headline, nothing in the article was accurate. But, like it never is, right? But
that's rare.
Yeah.
An accurate headline.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it. We are. That's what I told the lookout. We're building the building at the speed of cash.
Yeah.
In other words, if we run out of cash, we're going to stop building. There you go. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author, host of The Ken Coleman Show, where we talk about career and job, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Nikki is in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Nikki. What's up?
Hi, Dave. Not a lot. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Good. I'm calling because my husband and I, we own two houses. Well, right now we have a mortgage on one, and one is supposed to be our rental property. We haven't been able to rent it yet, but it's the house that we lived in when we got married 4 years ago. And he's always had a dream to rent this property, and he just really wants to rent it, and I have a lot of conflict. So we've been trying to follow your steps since before we got married. He's the one who introduced me to you. And so we paid off all of our debt after we got married, and we are still debt-free, praise God. But I know that I've listened on your show before, and we've been partially through Financial Peace University, and we've gotten some advice from some of our church friends, and renting this house doesn't seem like the right thing to do right now. And I really don't know what to do. It's caused a lot of conflict. It's like the main conflict in our marriage. And I'm just calling you to see what you would advise me to do.
Okay. Well, I hear him whining in the background. It was always my dream, and you're a dream killer. That's what I'm hearing. Because the way you were shamed into your sentence structure, I heard shame coming out. I know it's always his dream, and I don't want to kill his dream, which means he's been telling you that you're a dream killer. And let me just tell you, when you kill somebody's nightmare, you're not a dream killer. You're a nightmare killer. And, if somebody's doing something stupid and you tell them not to do it, you're not a dream killer. That's an act of love. And so your disagreement is based in love here. It's not based in the fact that little boy can't get what he wants. So let's not start there at all. I'm not gonna dignify that with an answer. But what? Let's just back up a minute. I think the two of you need to sit down with a marriage counselor and pan back, because basically he signed you up for a way of handling money that was proven that would be the shortest distance to wealth and generosity. And then once he signed you up for that, he changed horses and decided, I want to live my dream. I want a rental house with Dad. And so he's the one that changed the deal here. So somebody has to kind of help you guys navigate through the mediation of him changing the direction, because you didn't change anything. He said, hey, let's do this Dave Ramsey stuff. And then he goes, well, I don't really want to do it anymore. Am I missing something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And you sound awfully tired, fatigued, and beat down by a stupid rental house discussion. It's just a house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will mention also that it's been in his family. So he has had his family let him know that they would rather him not sell it.
Well, then they ought to buy it.
And yeah, I agree.
And it's okay. There's so many guilt trips in I mean, you guys are a travel agent for guilt trips around there. Him, his family, it's like a modus operandi. So the two of you need to decide what is best for the two of you. If it includes keeping this house and paying it off very, very quickly, that's okay. If it includes keeping this house and staying deeply in debt because my family shamed me into it and my husband shamed me into it, this is toxic as crud.
This house is paid off. We completely own this house. We don't owe any money.
No, the one you're
it.
talking about renting.
Right. Right.
You got debt on the other house?
Yes, the house that we live in, we bought in 2020.
Oh, and you borrowed money on it because you didn't sell the other one.
Right.
Yeah. So
It was
so
more,
effectively, you borrowed
yeah.
money to keep the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Pretty
will the other
much.
one sell for?
The rental?
Yes.
Well, it's appraised at $45,000.
$45,000?
Yeah.
Well, this is
we
a
could've got
fine
more
piece of
for it.
property.
It's really small. It's like a little 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house.
Most
that
people call me with car
needs a lot of
payments
work.
bigger than this. And y'all are arguing about a dump of a house. Oh, Lord.
What's the rent on that? I can't imagine
get
it's
rid
much.
of it. It's a piece of trash. There's no question. Listen, 20 years from now, are you going to be glad you own this as an investment? No! It's not going to get better. It already sucks. No, I don't want this piece of real estate. No. No. Now, if you want to keep it is there land with it? No, there's not. There's not any land with it. Not enough value.
No.
No, it's a tiny.
No. It's a tiny house on a big lot.
Yeah.
It has a.
And it's very,
real
very
big
old and very
garage.
dumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
tried to fix it up,
$45,000, girl. This tells us everything we need to know. Okay,
I
so
know.
here's the deal. I don't care, but here's the thing. The question you all have to ask yourself as a couple, other people outside your marriage do not get a vote in this, including me. You call me for my advice, I'll give you my advice, but I don't even get a vote, okay? You guys got to decide what you're going to do. And the question you need to do is the two of you as a husband and wife need to pan back and say, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, which of these decisions are we going to be glad we did? I can promise you, having owned over 2,000 pieces of real estate in my life, that dealing with the tenant you're going to deal with in a $45,000 house for the next 20 years is not going to add value to your life. This is going to be a total pain in the butt, and all for nothing financially. The only possible reason to consider keeping this house is it's been in the family, and it's a $45,000 keepsake. But even then, it's listen, this is one of those things that he needs to let go of. And so, yeah, you need to sit down with the marriage counselor, because the pain in your voice has nothing to do with this property. It has to do with his family injecting themselves into your all's life. It has to do with your husband changing horses in the middle of the dadgum stream and saying, well, you know, but yeah, take the $45,000, pay it down on your mortgage, and then start working to get your mortgage off. That's what Dave and Sharon Ramsey would do, even if the little house had been in her family or my family. And even if our little families didn't like it, we would still go, check it out. If you want to keep it, it's only $45,000. Run yourself down to the credit union, write me a check. I'll hand you the deed.
Yeah, and I think the marriage counseling is the key here. This thing has become way bigger than it needs to be. It's just not worth it. It's not causing a ton of financial stress other than the upkeep. So I think there's two sides to this. I think, Dave, you're absolutely right, but I also don't think it needs to cause this much stress for her either. It's not like it's burdening them in
You sound
any way.
exhausted.
It does. It seems like this thing has gotten huge, and it's a little teeny tiny house that, quite frankly, they don't owe anything on. I would do the same thing, and I'd take the 45 now. Like today, I'd take it.
Yeah.
And put it on the house.
I'd take 35. Just
Well,
get
that's
rid of the
true, too.
problem. It's
Right.
it's not a blessing. It's a curse. Okay?
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a long, yeah. There's a reason you can't rent it. Hello? So, yeah, I think there's the fatigue is not about the house.
No.
It's not about the finances. It's about your husband changing horses in the middle of the stream, saying we were going to do this. Now I decided I don't want to. And it's about all this interference and argument over really nothing. It's not worth it. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of Paycheck Purpose, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Josh and Ashley are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're doing great, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve, brother. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We're from Burgestown, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Pittsburgh.
Awesome. Very cool. So how much debt have you guys paid off?
We had $147,500 that we paid off.
Love it. How long did this take you?
It took us 9 years.
Wow. All right. And your range of income during that time?
With overtime and bonuses, we started in the 80s, and now we're between 100 and 150.
Okay. Way to go, guys. Very good job. All right. And what kind of debt was the $148,000?
It was our house.
Hey, look at it, weird people. Wow. No payments in the world. How's that feel?
It feels great.
I can't imagine. How old are you two?
I'm 33.
I'm 34.
All right. And you have a paid-for house.
That's right.
What's the house worth?
We bought it. It was worth 150, and it's hard to say what it's worth now.
Okay. But you bought it like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth $400 or $500?
It's definitely up a few bucks at this point. So
yeah, definitely. Okay. You don't even care because you're not selling it.
That's
so
right.
There you go. All right. Good. Way to go, you guys. Way to go. So tell us, what do you guys do for a living?
I'm an operations supervisor for a midstream natural gas company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom and
Good.
a wife.
I love it. Very good. Good for you guys.
Household executive.
I like it. That works for me.
I knew you were going to say that.
So the 148,000, 9 years. Tell us how this all got started. How'd you get introduced to this whole Ramsey stuff?
So before I was an operations supervisor, I was an instrument electrical technician, and I was on my way to a call out, and I was scrolling through channels, and you were on the college station, and that was the beginning of everything.
Okay, so you heard us squawking about this on the radio.
That's right.
And you said, wait a minute, maybe I could pay this off.
Yep, so bought the books, and then not too long after that, we went and did FPU.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ashley, you just were along for the ride, or did you push back against this, or was it all your idea and he's just making it like it's his?
It was not my idea. No. I am the free spirit.
Okay.
But I am the first one to cut up my credit card.
Ah.
Out of the two of us.
Oh, she wins that contest.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll show you. So when he comes home and he starts talking about Dave and the show and all this stuff, and he paints the picture, what he thinks it's going to do for you guys, how quickly did you jump on board, at least from, okay, this makes sense, to, all right, I'm going to be the first one to cut the card?
I don't know. I think at first I was, even after I cut the card, I was kind of really frustrated with him over the whole budget thing. I can remember our first 2 budget meetings, I cried.
Oh, wow. Was it the process that made you cry, or the taskmaster there beside you?
The taskmaster.
Uh-oh.
Me.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Honest to a flaw.
There we go. Too much truth right here. I like it. I love it. That's fun. That's fun because the first budget committee meetings are emotionally, they're gut-wrenching because you're having to look at all your stuff, and it's like, man, did we screw up some stuff? And man, have we got some opportunity to go win here? And then you got to start going, man, we got to cut back, and I got to watch this, and it's all your fault. And man, you can have some of the biggest fights of your entire marriage in those first 2 budget meetings, and that's a very real thing. That's a very real thing. So, but you guys pushed through. Here you are 9 years later, and boom, house is paid for.
Yep.
Was it worth it?
It was totally worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. Will you go back in debt?
No, that's not the plan at all.
My favorite part, I think, is the peace part, the financial peace part. I think that's my favorite part.
You do kind of relax in a place you didn't even realize was hurting, and you go, wow, I didn't realize I was carrying around 300 pounds until I set it down.
You said one time that some people have a security organ, and I tell him all the time I have the security organ.
Absolutely. It's very real. And, financial peace, 2 words that don't go together, like airline service. It's pretty incredible. Well, I'm proud of you guys. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
The budget was huge. But it was a crazy ride through the end. The last year was just pretty wild. We started off on a pretty paved surface. We had just had baby number 4. And then I got promoted, and I finished my bachelor's degree.
All right.
And I work for an awesome company. We say we because it's a package deal. But we had just taken 6 weeks of paternity leave, paid for. So very cool stuff. And
what'd you get your degree in?
Engineering management.
Oh, wow. Very good.
So,
very good.
But we came back off of paternity leave, and we found out that Ashley had stage 4 cancer.
Oh,
so,
my.
No.
So we didn't even do a budget for about 4 months while we were working through the early stages of that. But we had been so disciplined and used to doing it that we knew what we could spend. We had an emergency fund. We had our family, our friends, our church, and our work family taking care of us and supporting us. And we were able to keep on going. And then things started turning around there. And then very unexpectedly, we lost my dad in January.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. It's a tough run on the end there. You're right.
So,
how you doing now, Ashley?
I'm good. I will forever always have treatment. But it was actually, I say this and people kind of look at me weird, but it was actually really cool. There was a period of time where I didn't get out of bed. Would you say 6 weeks?
Thereabouts.
But I never thought that I would get to be where I'm at now. I'm kind of back to where, maybe not necessarily back to where I was before, but close to back to what I was before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
It's a great recovery.
Yeah.
Praise God. Good stuff. Okay.
Really cool.
I like the end of this story better.
Yeah. And so to tout the plan, if you really want to test your financial game plan, get cancer and see where you're at on the other side.
Yeah.
So
that'll check everything out for sure. Wow. Well, what an incredible story, you two. You're amazing. We're proud of you. Well done. Well done. Excellent, excellent job. All right, bring the kiddos up. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth, and how you can too. And of course, you're gonna. That'll be the next chapter in you guys' story. We've also got an additional membership for 1 year to Financial Peace University. Maybe give that away since you've been through it. I don't care. Go back through it. Good for us either way. And Total Money Makeover is there for you to give away as well. So all those gifts. What are your kids' names and ages?
go ahead, Ann.
I'm Hannah and I'm 9.
Oh, we can't hear them.
I
You're
don't-
going to have
she's
to
not
tell us.
close to it.
You're
This
gonna
is
have to tell-
Hannah.
Mhm.
She's 9. This is Caleb. He's 5. Elsie, she's 7. And Levi's 18 months.
All right. Very good. All right. Josh and Ashley and the gang from Pennsylvania. I love it. $148,000 paid off in 9 years, making $80 to $150. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're debt free!
Some help in the countdown.
Yeah, little Levi had another idea there. He's like, wait a second, I want to say something.
I got something to say here.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, I'll tell you what, life is going to happen to you anyway.
That's the truth.
So you might as well be on a plan to prosper while you're doing it. and to put yourself in a position to not have to worry about money while you're fighting stage 4. Oh,
So
my
true.
God. I mean, that's amazing she came back from that.
Really true.
That's
Yeah.
pretty strong.
That peace allows you to focus on what you need to persevere. But when you got money problems and then life throws the extra problems at you, it only compounds. And this is a wonderful example of that.
That's exactly right. That's how it works. I mean, this idea that, it's that Forrest Gump thing, one less thing to worry about.
True.
It's you got to really have a whole different way of viewing this stuff, and this freedom gives you every bit of that. Proud of those guys. They're heroes,
Great
man.
family.
Took control of their life. 9 years the struggle goes on, but they're 100% debt free, house and everything, and the other side of a cancer fight.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author and host of the Ken Coleman Show. Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream, it's because at some point they said, enough! I'm not living like this anymore. I've had it. You have to have that moment where you say, that's it. Enough! And when you get mad like that, that's when you're getting ready to change your life. Inflation, stupid credit cards, gas prices, it's killing you. And it may be your time right now to rise up and say enough. You have to decide to control what you can control, and that's you, your behavior. You have the power to control and change your future. Financial Peace University is where we have shown 10 million people how to do that. And it's a proven step-by-step plan, and you want to get out of debt, get on a budget, build wealth, be outrageously generous, learn about investing. It's the class you should have taken in high school, but you didn't. So now it's time to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. Say, that's it. I've had enough. I'm done. Go to RamseySolutions.com/enough, RamseySolutions.com/enough, and get yourself into Financial Peace University. Bill is with us. Bill is in San Antonio. Except that's not the line. There it is. Bill's in San Antonio. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. How are you?
Just the same. How can we help?
Okay, so to keep it short, I am 28. I'm a software developer with a household income of about $5,000 a month. My wife is 25 and is a full-time grad student. We are on baby step 3, so we're completely debt-free. However, we are currently cash flowing my wife's final year of grad school, so we don't have that much saved. Here's my question. I'd like to go back to school myself and change careers, however, to a career that would pay significantly less money than I'm currently earning. I'd like to pursue pastoral ministry. It is a passion and a calling I felt for over a decade, and I've been deeply involved in local church since throughout the time. However, I'm very deeply concerned with how I'd support a wife and any future kids we might have on a pastor's salary. So how do I prepare financially to be a minister with a family?
Lots of pastors I know make $60,000 and more.
Yeah. I think you've
Yeah,
created
I'm worried,
What are you worried about specifically?
How limited we would be, whether we'd be able to pay for a home or for our kids' college expenses in the future, if we're only making 60 or something close to that.
You're making 60 now. You said you make $5,000 a month.
Right, but we don't have any kids right now, and we're only renting. We don't have significant expenses right now.
Well, Bill, let me give you a real life scenario here. I just over the weekend was back in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, visiting my mom and dad for my brother's daughter's wedding, and just reveling in the living room late on Saturday night with my mom and dad about 47 years of ministry. My dad recently retired. He never made more than $40,000 a year. My brother and I both went to college. My mom and dad have paid their house off. It's been paid off for 20 years. It's a false narrative that you can't raise kids and help send your kids to college by being a pastor. And my dad pastored small churches. So, your income ability in multiple positions within ministry, okay, can easily make 60. And I think Dave can make the case that you can do everything you want to do for your family, with your family, making 60. I'm just giving you a real life scenario.
That's really helpful. Yeah, I know that the compensation could be extremely variable. I talked to one pastor who was making as little as 30 or 35.
Okay, hold on. What was his scenario? What was his situation?
He was a full-time pastor in Philadelphia.
Of how big of a church?
That I don't know.
I can guarantee it's very small. So you're choosing the extreme edge here to kind of validate your fear. And if I could just challenge you, this is what you feel called to. And I'm not going to question that. But if you believe that you're called to ministry, then you also believe that God will provide what you need. And at some point, you're going to have to choose faith over fear. You know this. You can preach on it.
Absolutely.
And, and two other pieces of information. 80% of people in America today that are pastors are bivocational. They work two jobs. And so your days of being a software engineer are probably not over. I know lots and lots of pastors. Financial Peace University has been taught in over 50,000 churches now. So we've got an intimate look at the finances of the pastors, the finances of the churches, for 3 decades now, and the vast majority of them make over $60,000 a year in a church of reasonable size. But if you're going to pastor 45 people or 100 people, you're not going to make any money. But if you're going to grow a church and have a ministry that has some impact on a larger number of people than that, then you're going to get yourself in a position reasonably to make a decent income. And anytime you want to add to it, then you can just pick up some software development stuff, some software engineering stuff, and you've got that skill set. The second thing I would add to this is education is not always, education in your chosen field that is applicable, continued personal growth is always a good idea. And so a pastor who continues to study doctrine, theology, Greek, Hebrew, and so on is a good idea throughout the rest of your life. But there are many movements within the evangelical circles that do not require a degree at all to pastor. I know many, many pastors of substantial churches who are great theologians who never darkened the door of a seminary except to go speak to them occasionally. And so the requirement to have a seminary degree in order to be a pastor is simply not there in the marketplace that you're in. Is it preferable that you're knowledgeable? You bet. I would add to that, I think you ought to go to Israel and actually see where the Bible happened and walk around on those spots before you preach a sermon. It would really change the whole world for you. I did that late in my faith walk, and it changed everything in the way I read and saw the Bible and the way I teach the Bible. And so, there's a lot to the whole thing of gathering up information and knowledge on your faith. But the requirement of an expensive seminary degree to make $35,000 a year is simply not real. That's not true. So you can start pastoring now, and you can add your formal education as you go along. And if you pick up an extra $40,000 on top of your current income and start pastoring now bivocationally, then start adding some classes in, grow your ministry. Over time, you're making 60, 100. It's not that unusual at all. You're ministering to 500 or 1,000 people. Not that unusual at all. And there's a whole lot of need for that in America today. And for men and women that would do that kind of thing. So, and yes, seminary is a good idea. I'm not trashing education. I don't do that. But one of the things you talk about, Ken, is it a requirement to enter the space? And the answer is no here.
It's not. And realistically, you need to be thinking about, what is my entry point? Because there's lots of different ways you could go. I will tell you, unless you have a specific heart to plant a church, meaning to start a church from scratch, which let me just tell you, that is the hardest thing in the world to do. Let me just tell you, it is. My dad did it twice. But you may serve yourself well by getting in on a staff and learning ministry from a terrific leader above you and taking your time to move up. So a lot of this right now needs to be, where do you see yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line in ministry? Is it a parachurch organization, which is just as much ministry as a traditional church? These are the questions I'd like you to figure out right now by hanging out with people that are doing ministry in those roles, and then you'll get verification on where you want to go and then the best way to get there.
Yeah, if you could get on staff somewhere now, you could contract your software engineering and work.
I think that's a
full-time
great
job.
idea.
Work it as a full-time job.
Yeah.
That'd be very possible. Yeah, a lot of options there, dude. A lot of options, a lot of ways to get at it. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for calling in. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage is taking the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create real, amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of The Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life, your money, your career. Jump in and we'll do just that. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Alex is with us in Houston, Texas. Hey, Alex, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
I'm in baby step 2, and I would like your advice on whether or not I should spend money for a financial coach. The coaching fee for the coach I'm looking at will be $250 a month, and I bring home $2,000 a month. I'm pretty strong on the head knowledge. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now, but I'm really struggling with the 80% behavior part and keeping consistency, and I would like your advice on what you think I should do.
No, if you're making $2,000 a month, I would not spend $250 a month on a coach. That's too much as a percentage of your income. Have you noticed, Alex, that your income sucks?
It does, yeah. I definitely want to find a way to increase my shovel, and you are right in line with the Facebook group. I put a poll out on there, and 92% gave me a no, don't do it.
92%. Maybe you need a new job doing statistics. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What do you do? What's your income? What's your career?
I work in a factory, a food production factory, and interesting part of my story, I'm less than a year fresh out of prison, and I'm just trying to rebuild my life together and make up for some bad decisions that I've made in the past. And part of that is trying to find a career where I will be given a chance, but I can also be paid for my worth, like what I'm capable for. And
what would that be?
I'm showing a little bit of.
Forget your record right now. What would you be pursuing if you didn't have this past that you knew you were going to have to navigate around?
Yeah.
What would you do?
What would you do? What do you want to do?
I love working in restaurants. That's one thing, but it's not long-term and stable. I really would love to be a real estate agent and to sell houses. I really like working with people. Mm-hmm. That would be something that I think I would be good at. Sales in general, I think I would be good at because I was really good at it in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
I made good money doing what I did. Well, and I would love to go into sales.
So here's the thing. we are seeing coming out of the pandemic, and I want you to actually do some research on this. I think you'll be surprised at what you find. There are a lot of companies around this country that are really, truly reaching out to people with a criminal record. They're nonviolent and things of that nature, and they really have proven that they've entered into society and they've paid their dues. And they're looking, because we have such a huge gap right now with 11.3 million jobs. It's the last job report out of July. 11.3 million jobs available, 8.3 million people unemployed. And I'm just telling you, you'd be surprised at some companies that are willing to give men and women like you a chance. That's one thing. I want you to just do your research and see what's out there. Second thing, whether that was a true piece of data or not, relationships. People are going to see your story, and you get to an interview process and you tell them that you've got a record because you're an honest guy, and they will still shoot you down right there. But the reality is through relationships, people that you know who know you and know that you're a good dude and know that you have paid your debt to society and now you're trying to do what's right, they are going to be the key to you getting where you want to go. And I'm going to tell you something. If you want to get into real estate, you just got to find that one or two people who say, you know what, I'll be your broker. I'll put my arm around you. I'll develop you. I'll pour into you. I believe in you. Because the reality is people will buy a house from somebody that is kind, that is knowledgeable, and helps them accomplish their dream of getting that home. They're not doing a background check on you. So I wanted to just put that in your heart so that you know you actually can get where you want to go.
Does Texas real estate law prohibit a felon from getting a real estate license?
That's something I need to research, definitely.
I don't think it does.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it does. It will keep you out of the securities business.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be a stockbroker or a financial advisor.
And so another realm of sales might be better for me.
Yeah, but real estate, most states do not have that as a prohibition on a real estate license. And so, how long have you been out?
I've been out since October of last year, so I'm coming up on a year.
Good for you. Okay. And how old are you?
28 years old.
Okay. Cool. Well, you're up for a fresh start. I love that.
Yeah.
And if I'm you, I'm going to move towards sales because of some kind, because you're a people person, you're articulate, and you can make more in 20 minutes in sales than you're making now.
Amen.
And I don't know what you're selling at this point, in this discussion, but I think you've got some opportunity there. And real estate is a tougher one to get in because it takes longer to start making money. Other types of sales you can get and you can make money at the end of the week. Mm-hmm. And real estate, it often takes 6 months, to get the on-ramp going. And you don't really have that kind of margin. But no, I would not spend $250 out of $2,000. For a financial coach. Financial coaching is worth every penny, but you can't, you're not in a position to afford that right now. You're not making enough money. So I want to work on the shovel size and some other things in the process. And what we'll do is we'll put you through Financial Peace University as our guest, and that'll help you with the behavior side as well. But you're learning a whole lot of new things about self-control and about behavior and about you, the guy in your mirror, in this stage of your life. You're coming through a whole process there in every element of your life. So if I'm you, I'm plugging into a great church. I'm going to get some strong, emotionally mature men in my life, if I'm you, that are older than you, that'll walk beside you and coach you and give you opportunities and connect you to their buddies and say, hey, here's Alex, he needs a shot. Mm-hmm. And they'll walk with you, and you can meet those kinds of men in a good church. And you need those kinds of folk in your life right now, and then get in this class. But no, I'm not going to tell you. I mean, we've got several thousand Ramsey-trained financial coaches across America that are worth every penny that they charge. They're wonderful. They're absolutely incredible. But no, I would not tell somebody making $2,000 a month to spend $250 a month on that. That's not a good play. Not a good play at all. There is something that has to happen almost in Dr. John Deloney's realm when you go through something like that to get that in your past There's the reality that he faces of when he applies, he's a felon, right?
That's right.
There's a reality, a background check, whatever, all those kinds. There's a reality there. But the other thing is you have to redefine yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I am not defined by my past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm informed by it.
That's right.
And so I'm not a guy, I'm not a bankruptcy. I'm a guy that filed bankruptcy 30 years ago. And it informed what I did in the following 30 years.
Yeah.
Told me what to do. And so, but I wasn't defined by it. I was informed by my idiocy. And so there's something that has to happen when you go through a big life-changing setback like that you have to reset your head to go forward. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. This is the deal. How many times do you find yourself saying one day about a goal that you had? One day I'm going to be in a career I like. One day I won't have to battle anxiety anymore. One day I'll buy a house. One day I'll be out of debt. One day Sally Mae will be out of my life. Well, stop waiting around on your one day. You've got to do something about causing it to happen. You have to turn dreams into goals, and goals are basically vision with work clothes on. And so you're going to have to get with it here. Stop waiting around. Smart Conference is, oddly enough, the one-day event where we tackle all areas of your life. And guys, let's face it, we could use that kind of boost out there right now. You're going to hear from the nation's top thought leaders on money, career, mental health, relationships, marriage, leadership, and it includes Craig and Amy Groeschel, pastor from Life Church, on marriage, Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author on mental health, Rachel Cruz, #1 best-selling author many times over on money, George Camel from the Ramsey Networks, Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author on the issues of career and finding a job that you love from paycheck to purpose. Christina Ellis, new Ramsey personality on board. I'll be speaking. It's a day-long Smart Conference. It's only $39. The VIP and Platinum are already sold out. The event will sell out early, and get your tickets now. It's in Dallas. It'll be coming up really quick in October the 22nd, Saturday. It is a day-long event. You pay $39 to see any one of these people speak and have gotten a deal. But you get the whole day. You're going to leave exhausted and smiling and smarter. That's why we call it the Smart Conference. That's how it works. Blinds.com gives us our question of the day. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings with free samples, free shipping, new promos they run all the time. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Thomas in Nebraska. I have $15,000 in student loans, $6,000 in a car loan, and a mortgage. My current job will be paying me $100,000 by 2024. Is it too late to get into the finance field with having to go back to school for a master's in finance? I will most likely have a drop in pay, and my finances are based off of making $6,000 a year, but do not know.
60.
Oh, sorry, what did I say?
You said 6.
Thank you, Dave. That would have been really strange.
Yeah, okay.
Do not know if being in the financial field will pay me that much in the Midwest. What should I be aware of before making this change? Well, the first thing, Thomas, is we need to get this debt out of your life. You're not making any kind of change as it relates to going to get a master's degree with this debt in your life. So we want to get you debt free. It's not too late at all for you to get in the finance field, but I would really question why the master's degree. Again, I'm not anti-education, but we know that you can do this research on your own. Most master's degrees do not have a great ROI. And in this case, for you to get into the financial field, you do not have to have a master's to be successful in it. So I would have you identify where you want to be in finance, and then having done the research and then speaking to men and women who are winning in that particular area, what is the best path for you to get there? Because I don't buy the notion that you're going to have a drop in pay either. I don't buy that at all.
It should be an increase in pay.
It should absolutely be, or it's the wrong place in finance.
Yeah, you should be an increase in pay, and virtually no finance jobs require a master's. There's virtually none. I mean, there's a few, corporate gigs or something where you're trying to move up into upper management or something like that immediately, step straight in. They're going to want to see a master's. But the truth is that finance is simply not that complicated. If you're a math person and you get into it and you learn the process and you learn the formulas, you learn the critical thinking skills, you can be a financial analyst. Or do finance, or whatever form that takes. But when you say I want to go into finance, dude, that's like saying I want to go into sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What part? There's like 9 bazillion possible jobs.
Right.
So you need to figure out what type of thing you want to go into. Then you can start figuring out if it really involves a pay cut and if it really needs further education. I doubt it does. I doubt seriously it does. But again, there's a few corporate jobs that like to have an MBA with a specialization in finance. That wouldn't be unusual. Mm-hmm. But a master's in finance is just simply not required to be in the financial field. We work with financial people that are brokers that are sitting down with you, helping you with your investments. We work with financial people in the mortgage world. We work with financial people in the insurance world. We work with financial people in the financial planning fields. Very, very, very few of them have masters. And it's just simply not a barrier of entry.
That's right.
And very, very few of them make less than what you're talking about. So you've also got a bad information there. So I think you need to figure out what part of the world of finance you want to go into, and then figure out what that pays and figure out a way to get in that. And maybe if you want to work on your master's, maybe the new job in the world of finance will pay for it. And that would be the way I would do it. But I'm going to, this is like you've got, cold feet where you are, and you just want an excuse to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think here's the deal. When people think about changing, they automatically think, what education do I need? I think that's the right question. But you've got to classify education a little bit differently than we used to 20 years ago. Now, in this particular area, as Dave has laid out, you're talking about certifications and some training. That's it. It does not require a master's. And so, hey, what do I need to learn? Where can I learn it? What's the most affordable way to learn it? Those are the specific questions.
Yeah. Where do I get the knowledge base?
That's correct.
To operate efficiently. That's what you're looking for. Francis is with us. Francis is in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Francis. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks so much. And great responses to Ken and Alex. I really appreciate it. I'm an ordained clergy person, and as ordained clergy, I have to pay my own Social Security and Medicare taxes. The church doesn't pay for that. And to offset that, we're allowed a housing allowance that is tax-free. My wife and I have a home our household income is $150,000. We have a home that's valued at $520,000, and we have $110,000 left on the mortgage. That's 3 out of 15 years on that mortgage. We have about $50,000 in our brokerage account, and we're set on retirement. We're really good there. our question is, do we want to take that $50,000 out of that brokerage account and pay down that mortgage? When we pay the house off, though, my taxable income will go up. And so that's kind of the rub that we've been wrestling with a bit.
Your taxable income will go up.
Correct, because my mortgage is part of the housing allowance.
No, it's not.
That's not taxable.
No, it's not.
And so
No. I've had to teach pastors this all over America. Okay, you need to go. You need to go sit down. You need to go sit down with a tax professional that knows what they're doing on the pastor's housing allowance. The belief that is an absolute lie all across America is that if a pastor pays off their house, they lose their housing allowance. No. The tax law clearly says that you can still write off the market value of rent of that $500,000 house.
Right.
As if it was a house payment. You do not have to be in debt to get your housing allowance.
No, I do understand that, but my actual taxable income will go up when the mortgage drops off, because it's actually the fair market value rental furnished or your actual expenses each month, whichever is lower. And so for our home, it would be the actual expenses, which would be lower. And so my housing allowance is going to drop significantly, which means
your fair market value furnished rental on a $500,000 house? That's high. That's high, and that's the only thing you got left if you got no mortgage.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So you can still take that as your housing allowance. You're not going down. You're going up. You only got a $110,000 mortgage left. So, no, I think you pay off the house as fast as you possibly can. You take the fair market value furnished of a $500,000 house, and that's your housing allowance. You're still going to come out ahead.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jeremy and Kaylee are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave, we're better than we deserve.
I love it. Where do you guys live?
We live in a small town of less than 3,000 people, Chaffee, Missouri. It's 2 hours south of St. Louis.
Okay, cool. Welcome to Nashville. So good to have you guys. So how much debt did you pay off?
We paid off $125,000 in 56 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started in the 80s, and we finally broke 100. We were 104 this year, finally.
Yay! What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a school nurse, and
I work for a towboat company, construction on the river.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Very cool. Very cool. So what kind of debt was $125,000?
It was everything from cell phones, a credit card, van, transmission for the van, and then student loans and
medical
our house.
Bills.
You paid off your house?
We paid off our house.
Whoa! Look at it, weird people. How old are you guys?
I'm 35.
And I'm 40.
And you have paid for a house?
Yep.
What's the house worth?
About 125. And
I love it. And it's completely yours.
Yep.
No payments in the freaking world.
None.
How's that feel?
Nice.
Amazing.
I bet. 56 months you did this. Wow. All right, so tell us the story. What's got all this started, and what got you so fired up you plowed all the way through and finished the house?
I'm the one that drank the Kool-Aid first. My best friend asked me to go to Financial Peace with her, and Jeremy works 28 days away.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't have anybody to watch the kids. No, they have daycare. And she talked me into it, and I was like, fine, I'll go. And the very first class, when you had the kitchen table, we were doing fine at the time. But when you had the kitchen table in the video, and you talked about how, your family, where you have as a family, becomes piled with bills and stress. We had lived that before.
Yeah.
And I felt it. Like, I just felt it. And I felt the chains, and I was just like, nope, we're not living this way. And whenever you're the first person I ever heard say, you don't have to have a credit score, because that's all you're told is you have to have good credit. You have to have good credit to have everything. And I was like, we can do this. Like, this is something that we can do. And so I came home from that first class and told him about it over the phone, and
And I was kind of skeptic at first, but
he was very skeptic.
I would have been.
I come home and I was
leave
able to
home
make
and
the
see
two
what you
classes.
get yourself into.
Exactly. Gone for 4 weeks. I come home and I go to my 2 weeks. After that very first class I went to, I come walking in afterwards and gathered the kids up and cut up that one credit card we did have and showed them we don't need
We're
this.
not going to have another one of these in the house.
Never going to happen again.
So when you came back off the road, off the river, and went to the class, immediately you were in.
Yes, sir.
We were on board.
Okay, just like that.
Well,
Boom.
and I had the benefit of he's gone for 28 days. So whenever he was like, I don't know about this, I kind of threw a tantrum, and I was like, no, we have to do it together. You have to do it as a team. I just paid stuff off while he was gone. So when he came home, I was like, but look what we've done already. And he was like, oh my goodness.
We are smart.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And so that also helped get him on board.
That's a new one, Dave. You've probably heard it all, but I've never heard of stealth debt payments
That's
before.
a great one, yeah.
Okay.
We are really smart. Look what we did while you were
look what
gone.
we did.
While you were gone.
Yeah.
Well, that'll get you some buy-in, because it's not like he's like, oh, I hate this, let's go back in debt. He didn't say that. So
No, sir.
No, here we go. Game on after that, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do want to say something about the credit score, though. When I was 18, I tried to get a car, and I remember I went to a car lot, and the car salesman was like, well, you probably have no credit, and it's really hard to get a car with no credit. And they ran my credit, and I had bad credit because a family member put a phone bill in my name when I was like 15.
That's awful.
And I hated credit. I hated the credit score because it wasn't my fault. It was like a bad grade on a test you didn't take or something.
Yeah, for real. That's the worst kind of violation. It really is. And a family member. So you had to get the identity theft cleaned up is what it amounts to. And the worst part is the thief is in the family.
So I was like, game on. I was like, we can live without a credit score. Let's do this.
Yeah. I like it when they tell me I have to have a credit score, and I say, you don't take money?
Exactly.
Because I got money. Does that work here?
So that journey, when I hear it's 56 months.
Yeah, that's a long
That's a
track.
lot of months. What kept you guys going?
Each other
And the debt-free screams. We had a couple date nights where we sent the kids to grandma's, and we'd push the couch up to the TV so it was a bigger screen because it's only a 40-inch.
Only, yeah.
And we would just play debt-free screams back to back to back and hear everybody's stories, and you can relate to people, and that's why we wanted to be here, because we're like, there's a family out there. There's somebody that's going through what we've been through, and the pandemic, everything but the house was paid off, so it was an inconvenience for us, you know. And I was actually an office nurse at the time, and I was sent home from work, and I even had to draw unemployment for a few weeks. And as a nurse, I never thought I would face something like that. So
they send you off the river during the pandemic?
I was actually on the boat during my trip when it really started getting a little crazy, but I came home for my 2 weeks, of course, because I'm just tired of seeing everybody's faces after 4 weeks. But I come home, and when we come back, we just took a COVID test, took a swab and all, and
just kept working. Essential.
Back at it.
Essential.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I figured. Good for you guys. Well done. Hey, that's cool. And you get the other side of it, and now you got no payments in the world.
None.
It's a whole different place to be. And so did you have more cheerleaders or more people thinking you were crazy?
We had a few close cheerleaders that understood, maybe two, that actually knew what we were doing and why. A lot of people thought we were crazy, laughed at us. But that's encouragement. That's encouragement. We're gonna do it, and you're gonna.
Wish you did.
Yeah.
It's the Toby Keith thing. How you like me now?
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well done, you guys. I'm proud of you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very well done. All right, what do you tell people now that you did it? The secret, the key to getting out of debt is?
Life's gonna happen. Life
Exactly.
happened.
Just keep at it.
Yeah. We had lots of medical happen in a little over 4.5 years. I mean, it's inevitable. The excuse is you just got to push through it like anything else. If you want to do it, decide it, make a plan, and do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't let anything stop you. You got to push through all the stuff because there's always going to be stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's inspiring. Well done, you guys. Well done. All right, bring the kiddos up. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story, how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth, how you can too. We've also got a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University, and you can go through the class if you've never been through it or give it away if you'd like. Same thing for the books, and that includes the Total Money Makeover book, which has now helped over 8 million people. And so we're going to send all of that with you to say thanks for coming into Nashville to do your debt-free scream. We're honored to have you guys. What are the kiddos' names and ages?
This is Connor. He's 11, and Priscilla. She's 8. She's 8.
Okay. Well, she'll be 9 soon. It's okay. And you guys have completely changed your family tree. You realize that?
Absolutely.
Because for 4.5 years, these guys have been watching every move you made. And
Yes, sir.
they'll remember that time you did this weird thing in Nashville called a debt-free scream, and that's when Mom and Daddy changed everything, and that's when we started becoming rich around our place.
That's
You're
right.
on your way.
We ask him, what are credit cards? And what's the first thing he out? Bad.
That's it. That's the answer. What's a credit score? Something someone else needs.
Exactly.
Not me. I've got money. They take that here. Congratulations, you guys. All right, Jeremy and Kaylee, Connor and Priscilla from the Missouri area. $125,000 paid off in 56 months, making 80 to 100. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Man, they pushed through 56 months. That's rowdy. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Chris is in Duluth, Minnesota. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for taking my call, and great show as usual.
Thank you, sir.
You're
How can we help?
So my broker recently advised me to consider investing in what he called a unified managed account, a UMA. Done a little research, but I wanted to get your expertise and opinion on this.
Okay. What is your net worth?
Probably just under $2 million.
And how much have you got? How much have you got under management with the broker?
I've got about half. It's all under his. About 500's in our 529, and then the remainder, about half, is in our Roth and my TSP, and the other half is in an open account. So there's about 700 he's talking about putting in that account.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people using managed funds in the world today. A lot of our SmartVestor Pros use those. And basically, you're usually talking about 1.5% a year of the balance, and then they're managing the funds. And you can do away with all of the commissions and fees by doing that. And it is not cheaper, but it just gives you some flexibility. And some you can move stuff around without any tax issues and that kind of stuff. Typically, that's called a managed fund. The only time you use a UMA, a unified managed account, is if you're wanting to screw with single stocks and bonds and some other stuff in there. I only do mutual funds, as you probably know, Chris. And so managed funds will do that with an investment professional. Most of them are almost all of them are using those now. I still buy old A shares because I just buy and keep forever, and I don't really do any moving around much. But the managed funds is a very popular way to handle it now, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's slightly more expensive over a 10-year period. If you held the same exact amount of money for 10 years, or same exact funds for 10 years, but it's not prohibitive. It's not a ridiculous fee, and I would say you're getting ripped off or anything like that. It's not. The only thing that scares me about it is the fact that we put unified in the name here, which usually is high net worth individuals, which you are, and it usually is where you want to screw around with single stocks in the portfolio, and I'm not a player on that. If you're going to play with a small amount of single stocks in there, maximum of 10% of your net worth is what we say. That's fine if you want to do that. I personally don't, and I'm a little bit worried that this guy's wanting to pull you into some of that stuff. Are you hearing any of that, or are you just doing mutual funds?
We're of that 700, I would say only like 100's in like 2 or 3 stocks. So we're definitely in the there's 4 or 5 mutual funds that we dollar cost average. His point is that taxes are what we have to start considering when I retire in 15 years. And so our plan is that we spend this down first, and then the TSP and the Roth TSP and our Roth, we spend down when we're in our 80s. So
I would agree. I think he's got your priorities right on that. Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, this is I don't want to use this, but he says the tax efficiency, the wash rules, the tax loss harvesting, he says all this. And he says it's actually very similar to a mutual fund. It's just how it's managed is what he's saying.
I disagree with that, but from a tax standpoint, it is. And I think his suggestion is fine. What I just don't want to see is I don't want to see you with 700,000 screwing around with single stocks and you're jumping in and out, trying to play the market and basically day trade inside this account. You're going to lose your butt if you get off into that hole. Okay, so don't do that. Let's move more and more towards just managed mutual funds inside this account. But the advice he's giving you is correct. I don't disagree with a single thing he's saying, based on the context you're giving me around it. But sometimes people use that same tool for high risk speculation rather than calm, steady investing. You follow me?
I do. And I've been with him 20 years. We're a buy and hold, and that's why we're so, I don't make much. I only make a little over 100. That's how we got to this point by dollar cost averaging.
Exactly. Well, he is right about the tax efficiency. That's one of the benefits of it, and the fees are not outrageous, and it sounds like you're doing this in context. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and do it.
Okay. I wanted to...
And then we lost the cell phone. Dropped the cell phone into the bathtub. Okay, but yeah, it's net worth just went down. But
yeah, right.
Hey, what a great story though. $2 million of net worth, and has killed it for a long period of time.
And backs up what our study showed, the largest study of millionaires. He didn't inherit it. He doesn't have a huge salary. He makes good money, but it's not great.
33% of the millionaires, 1/3 of them never made over $100,000. Yeah, and he's one of them. Yeah, beautifully done. Mm-hmm. Very beautifully done. Tara is with us. Tara is in Texas. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you, Dave, for taking my call.
Sure.
So I am recently divorced. I have 2 girls at home that are in high school, a senior and a freshman. My bring home pay right now is around $85,000. I have about $6,000 in debt between credit cards and orthodontist payments and little things like that. I've got $45,000 in vehicles between my daughter's car, my car, and a 3-year-old home that I built in 2019 that I still owe $275,000 on. So obviously recently my income changed. We went from about a $225,000 a year income to just mine, which is, like I said, 85. I started your program recently. I sold everything that I could. I completely purged my house and got my $1,000 saved up. I just started tackling some of the debt, but I built this whole spreadsheet, and when I look at the big picture, I'm kind of like, okay, I know those vehicles are going to
break that down for me on the cars. What is your car? What do you owe on your car?
So I owe $32,421.
Okay.
On my
what is your car worth?
It's a brand new Challenger, and whenever I got my divorce, I was stupid and I went and bought a brand new car.
It's the divorce stress car, okay? And your daughter's car is like a $12,000 car.
Yes, $12,908 is the balance on her Honda.
And what's it worth?
It's a 2017 with 55,000 miles on it. I'm not really sure.
Okay, you can look these up on kellybluebookKBB.com. Okay. So if you're asking me what to do, if the dumbest thing you ever did in the stress of a divorce is buy a car that you couldn't afford, well, you're a pretty smart gal. Because I've done a lot dumber stuff. But I think we can look at that car in the driveway and go, this is the one thing that doesn't fit in the rest of this picture. The rest of this picture looks pretty solid, calm, under control, wise, and then there's the Challenger.
Right.
It needs to go.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One is it's financially irresponsible, and the second reason is every time you look at it, you're going to feel dumb.
Right.
It's a shaming car. It shames you when you go out there to get in it. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
I have bought stuff or done stuff financially that was dumber than a rock, and every time I see the thing, it reminds me I'm stupid. I don't like those things.
Right.
I'm getting rid of this thing. It's a reminder of the divorce, a reminder of the pain, a reminder of you making a bad decision in the middle of the pain, and I don't need any of that. And I don't need $32,000 worth of debt on a car when I make $85,000.
Right, exactly.
Let's get you a conservative $15,000 car, and let's get you and your daughter's car paid off, the other car paid off. And if you had no payments but this house payment, your life would be pretty good right now.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question about the house, because...
House is not out of control. It's fine. If you like the house, if you want to sell it, fine. But if you like it, it's not out of control. Doesn't sound like, anyway, if you've got it financed reasonably. Hang on, we're going to put you through Financial Peace University and participate in your healing after the divorce you've gone through. It's a very, very painful thing. I'm sorry you've been through that, kiddo. Hang on, we're going to sign you up for the class. If you'll take it, I'll give it to you for free. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is the Ramsey Show. We help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Ben is going to start us off this hour in Winston-Salem. Hi, Ben. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. How are y'all?
Better than we deserve, brother. What's up?
Man, good to hear. Hey, I just wanted to make it brief. Just wanted to ask you, my company, my wife and I has recently got to baby step 4, 5, and 6, and had a question about investing. My company matches 6%, and then my wife's company matches 3% on our 401ks. I guess what my question is, the 9% from my company that they don't match, and the 12% from my wife's company that they don't match. Should we take that remaining percentage and go with a SmartVest or Pro, or just keeping it within our company 401k?
Okay, the rule of thumb is this: match beats Roth beats traditional. So you do all the matching you can do, then you do all the Roth you can do, and if you do all of that and you're still not to 15%, then you would do traditional. Does either your wife or your company offer a Roth 401k?
Yes, sir. Both companies, both of them, they're both currently in a Roth 401k.
Good. Very good. Okay, so you're going to take the full match there, obviously. And the match portion, the portion the company puts in is technically not Roth. It's technically traditional, and you can't do anything about that. But the portion you're putting in is Roth. Now, do you feel like the mutual funds that you can select from in both 401ks are good, strong selections, that you can get good funds there?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Dave. I don't know a whole lot about stocks and mutual funds, but I guess that's why I was asking.
Okay.
I'm really not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's a good mutual fund and what's a good stock.
All right. If you can get in good mutual funds at the work, then it will be as good as doing a Roth IRA with good mutual funds with a SmartVest Pro. The beauty of doing the SmartVest Pro might be, in your case, though, that you get a teacher in your corner. That SmartVest Pro will have the heart of a teacher to teach you about your mutual funds, and that'll help you select the ones at work as well as the ones for the Roth IRA. So I probably would do at least one Roth IRA with the SmartVest Pro, and then have them give you some advice on where to put the rest of it, whether you can put it in the 401k. But you got to put enough in to get the match in both cases. And then, you don't have to, but that's what I would do. And then I would do Roth from there, and you can either do Roth with a SmartVest Pro or Roth in that 401k, and you'll definitely be able to get to the full thing at that point. So great job. Great job, man. Very, very well done. That's beautifully played. You know, Ken, this money thing and this job hunting thing and this mental health thing, the stuff we deal with on the show all the time, there's something about those three different subjects there that they have in common, that they're intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it feels like, you know, I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not a career expert. I'm not a money expert. So I don't know what to do with my own life and those things. And the good news is that while the subjects, you know, they always have experts around those three things, but they're common sense. The solutions are common sense.
That's correct.
Just common country wisdom.
Yeah, they feel very complex. And what the key to complexity is always simplicity. I always think about it, you know, if I ever got out in the garage, which I shouldn't be doing much with machines, Dave,
no, you shouldn't. You should not.
And you see all that trimming wire all tangled up. Well, there's only one solution to that, right? Either throw it away or you slowly start to unravel that. And
you're talking about your weed eater?
Oh, yeah. That stuff gets all tangled up. That's not there's not complexity there anymore. It's simplicity to get it untangled. And untangling your financial life, untangling work, untangling your mental health, all of that has a simple solution. And it starts with, hey, how much of me is involved in this, and what can I do? What can I control? And that's what we teach here, is a clear path in all of those areas to say, all right, I can fix this. It is fixable. And when you decide that, then you look into it and you go, what's the best way to fix it? And you realize it's usually much simpler than you think. But the fear and the doubt associated with these heavy topics tend to keep us kind of just on the edge of moving forward to actually make a change.
You know what, too, that goes with that is it's a human tendency, and you and I share it with all of our listeners, too, that when something like that feels overwhelming or complicated or like over my head, then what I want to do is I just want to hand it to somebody who says they're an expert.
Yes.
And walk away and let them handle it, because I don't want to screw with it. Mm-hmm. But that very seldom turns out well. Mm-hmm. Instead, what you need to do is the experts that are in your life, like the Bible says, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And that doesn't say in the multitude of experts.
True.
It says counsel.
Yeah.
Counsel is teaching.
Yeah.
Counsel is speaking into, and then so what we always want to do at Ramsey with any of these subjects is we want to give you information, and if we connect you with someone, a mental health professional, a SmartVestor Pro, Churchill Mortgage. Yeah. We always are requiring them to be Ramsey trusted on the other end and have this heart of a teacher, because we always want you guys to make your own decisions. And so if you can't make the decision, it's because you don't have enough knowledge yet. And you need to get knowledge in those areas. So that guy's question was fabulous.
Yeah, really was.
Because now he says, I don't know much about this, but I need to go to a SmartVestor Pro because I think I need to know more about it.
That's exactly right.
Instead of, but don't tell me I got somebody managing my money. No. You're managing your money.
Yeah.
They're teaching you about how that's done and helping you with that.
Yeah.
Or, I turned over my job search to another guy.
Yeah.
No. You're in charge of your job
That's
search.
Correct. Here's how that'll play out with that caller. He's going to now sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, and he's going to understand his investment portfolio. He's going to understand the strategy. He's going to understand the things that you've taught us over the years, that you've taught callers, the rate of return, how you stay in the long game. He's going to learn all that, and here's what's going to happen. He'll never be a financial expert like a SmartVestor Pro, but because of that counsel, that advising, here's what happens. He's not going to get freaked out and get scared when the market dips for 3 straight months. He's not going to make risky moves. Why? He has a knowledge base and now some wisdom.
If you know what's going on, you sleep at night.
That's correct.
If you don't know what's going on, you're wondering if your guy down there is screwing you.
That's true.
It's hard to sleep at night.
Yeah.
But when you know what you know and you made the call, then you can put your head on the pillow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Right now, you're hearing a lot of the talking heads in the news stirring up all the fear about the real estate market. The market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. Let me help you with this. It's not going to crash. Sorry, spoiler alert. We have way too many buyers chasing too few homes. It's a pretty simple supply-demand equation. I know the economy sucks right now. I'm aware of that. I tried to fill up my truck the other day, and it maxed it out. But the stupid thing stopped before it let me fill it up.
Yeah,
you know?
You're taking too much.
Yeah, I know. It's a big old truck. But, yeah, it's a big tank. But, gee, me. Yeah, here's the deal. Huge supply of homes in 2008, not enough buyer demand. This is not 2008. It's quite the opposite here. So we've done the hard work of vetting agents. If you're in the real estate market, you're thinking about selling, it's actually a good time to sell. The market's not white hot like it was where you get 38 offers in 3 minutes, but you're going to be able to sell the house in a normal marketing period of time these days. Pretty cool. And great time to buy a house because the market's slowed down a little bit. You're not having to compete with 7,000 other people trying to buy the same house on the weekend. So go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. Get with one of our endorsed local providers. They're Ramsey trusted, and you need a good real estate agent, a great real estate agent in your corner to buy right now, and especially to sell right now. If you're thinking about selling, this is the perfect time. Kids went back to school. Everybody's starting to think again about this. The vacations are over from the summer. Great time. So go to RamseySolutions.com/agent, and you can find the real estate agent in your area that we recommend. Clement is with us. Clement is in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Clement. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I just want to say it's an honor to talk to you guys both today. I was approached by a lawyer from Canada about a person with the same last name I have who deceased a while back, roughly 9 years ago. And they approached me saying that there's some money left behind in an insurance policy after he died, roughly $13 million. And they approached me saying that, hey, we wanted to tap into that, and you can be a beneficiary. The only thing we ask is that we give 10% to either a local charity or a church of your choosing, and then we would split the remainder 50-50. I want to know if this is a common thing or not, or if I'm getting scammed. And
you're getting scammed.
Question. Yeah?
It's a scam.
Oh.
No, there's no such thing as an insurance policy where a lawyer gets 50% of it for finding you. Not even in Canada.
I don't know why that got me so good. I'm sorry.
There's just no such thing, Clement. I mean, that's complete bogus crap.
The person of the same name. You don't even know a relative.
You don't even know, never even heard of them. You had no idea you knew anybody in Canada. You don't, And so, and the next thing is they're going to want some money from you up front to get this all settled and figured out. Because you got to pay the upfront fees to get the documentation done or some crap. And that's where they scam you. But there's not sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but there's a Nigerian prince also that wants some help getting his money out. If you haven't heard that one, it's very similar. There's no such product out there. There's no process in the legal system on probate. No lawyers of any kind that do probate law take half for distributing an inheritance that they had nothing to do with. They just don't do it. There's no such thing. Nor do they demand what you do with the money, like give 10% of it to charity.
That's what I was getting at. The scammer with a heart. Oh, we want you to give some of it to charity.
Well, that's to give the thing credibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. He didn't say he was going to get half of it. He said I would be liable to paying him half after I received the full amount.
Yeah. It's a straight up, this is a standard scam procedure, and you're going to have to put the money up somewhere and at some point before you get money, and that's when they're going to take you. They're going to, so no. As a matter of fact, if I were you, I would report this to the FBI.
Huh.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I'm pretty sure this is going on quite a bit, and this thing's coming waves. But I'm sorry. I wish you were getting half of $13 million. I wish that for you, out of the blue, from nowhere. But there's nothing about this that doesn't smell like a scam. I would waste no time on it, and for sure, don't give them any of your banking information. Don't give them any card information. Don't give them any further information on you that they can use to trap you into some kind of corner later, because this is what they're after here, and they're going to be persistent, and they're going to make fun of you and do all kinds of things. And what you need to do is just get away from them as fast as you can. This is a bad deal here.
Yeah, I just don't know what to say. I mean, wow. That's pretty bold.
Well, they do it all the time. There was one, I'm trying to remember how they did it. It was the Spanish lottery. And it came out of Canada, too. And it was a standard scam. And I don't remember the process on it. But it was called the Spanish lottery. And they would call you up and say, you won the Spanish lottery. And I'm like, I didn't know I was in it.
Right.
And so,
don't you have to buy a ticket?
But then you had to post the money in order to prove that it was you, and then they would switch it around, and then by the time they switched it around, your part never came, but they took the part that you put in, and it was a process. I can't remember the details of how it rolls out, but it's very, very interesting. So, check it out. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. Calvin is with us in Canada, oddly enough. Hey, Calvin, you're not an attorney in Canada, are you?
Nope, I'm a real estate agent.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Got it. Cool. How can we help?
I'm looking at starting a business. I'm wondering how I can do this without a credit score.
I wouldn't.
So it's going to cost me about $500,000 to get off the ground, and it's a advertising company. It's going to cost me.
I wouldn't do it.
That much. You wouldn't do it?
Nope. I wouldn't go $500,000 in debt to start a business.
Okay, so how would you go about starting an advertising company where your building cost for each billboard pole is about $100,000, but you can get that paid off with a 20% margin in 2 years?
Hypothetically, there's a rule in business. Everything takes twice as long as you think it's going to. It costs twice as much, and you're not the exception. And so you've run a pro forma out on some kind of best case scenario here that's got you dreaming, and you're willing to take an unreasonable amount of risk to get into this. This is a story that ends up in bankruptcy here, brother. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I started this business on a card table in my living room, and we've grown it to $300 million in volume in revenue this year with zero debt along the way. But it took a little while.
So how would you go about building this? Take a couple years to save up the money to pay for these poles in cash?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Buy fewer of them. And boy, when they start cash flowing without any debt against them, they're going to cash flow like bandits if they do what you think they're going to do.
How do you think that
they rent out for about $11,000 a pole.
That's not bad. What do you make now?
Right now, I'm making about $150 to $200. I've been I've been a real estate agent for about a year.
Cool. So buy 5 poles a year. It's $50,000.
Well, the poles I'm looking at building, they're a bit larger, a bit more permanent, and that's why you can charge more for them.
Yeah, I thought you said you could own them for $11,000 a pole.
No, $100,000 a pole. They earn you $11,000 a month.
Oh, $100,000. Oh, really?
I just wonder, Calvin, how did that industry do when your prime minister literally shut the entire country down?
I mean, they were still, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into those statistics, but I know that right now all of the areas around Calgary, the companies that are in it are expanding currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a highly speculative business.
Yeah. I'm not borrowing $500,000 to start buying advertising poles, dude. I think you're missing some parts of this business that you haven't considered. I can't tell what it is in a 3-minute radio call, but that's the answer to the question. I would save up and buy one, then I'd save up and buy another, then I'd save up and buy another. And if you're making as much money as you think you're going to make on them, you're going to cash flow your way into a whole bunch of them within 5 years. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Eileen is with us in Connecticut. Hey, Eileen, how are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
I am. I'm a first-time caller, but I listened to you for a long time.
Well, thank you. How can we help?
I am going to turn 59 and a half, and I was thinking of paying off my mortgage with my TSP, some of it.
Cool. How much is your mortgage?
$82,000 left.
How much in the TSP?
$730,000.
Great. Do it.
Do it. Okay.
Yep. So you got to make it on $600,000 with no debt. Life's rough.
Right, and I have another Roth outside the TSP too.
You killed it, girl. You're a millionaire. What's the house worth?
$320.
I told you you're a millionaire.
Wow!
I'm so proud of you.
Hear that?
You ever thought about it? I mean, you add up what you own minus what you owe, and if it's $1 million or greater, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. It took a while, but
yeah. Well, I mean, this is what you'd been doing. What'd you do for a living?
Right. Post office.
What'd you do at the post office?
Yeah. Just a clerk inside,
Just a clerk millionaire.
Right. I started at $30,000, and this is a high point, $69,000. But I've been there 35 years. So.
You single?
Yeah. Well, I'm divorced. Yes, there was a divorce in the middle there.
How long you been divorced?
And 15 years.
Okay. All right.
And one son, he's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want you to go look in the mirror because you're a pretty impressive woman.
Oh, okay.
Your
Thank
dadgum
you.
millionaire is a post office clerk. Shut up. This is amazing.
Wow.
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You did good.
So,
You did good.
yeah, I'm kind of a nerd, yeah.
Well, you've been the tortoise so long, you forgot it was impressive.
Yep.
You're steady. You're predictable.
Yes. Right. That's
And all
what it
those
was.
those nights you wondered if you were going to make it when you were going through this divorce, right now they all paid off. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
that
made
was a little nerve-wracking.
You made
Yep.
it. You made it. You did it.
That's great to hear that from you.
I mean,
Thank
you're
you.
69 years old. You get $700,000 with a paid-for house
59.
after this conversation.
59.
What did I
59.
say? 60 years old. 59, 60. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to be 59 and a half to do this, but yeah. Ding, ding.
Thank you. Yeah.
What do you tell
Just
people that their
discipline.
secret to being a millionaire is?
You just got to be disciplined and just, every week it just automatically goes in. And that's it.
What kind of which funds did you use in the TSP?
The C, the C, S, and I. Mostly C, though. Yeah,
So you've been following our stuff for a long time.
a long time, yeah.
How long?
And 15 years or more?
Yeah. Wow. You're a baby steps millionaire.
Yeah, my son, listen, we used to go on rides to Vermont, and I'd have you on in the car. So now he's very money savvy.
Good. Good to have a 22-year-old that's money savvy. They don't live in your basement that way.
Oh, no, he left. Yeah, he's out west.
Yeah. Well, very well done. What are you going to do to kick up your heels and enjoy your life now?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. 3 to 5 years, I plan to retire, so we'll see.
You like
what
to
the
travel?
future brings. Yeah.
What kind of
So,
car do you drive?
Yep. A Subaru, 5-year-old used Subaru.
Okay. All right. When you retire, I want you to get a good car. A better car. Okay?
A nice car.
You're driving a car like a post office clerk, not like a millionaire. You hear me?
Okay,
I want you to
yes,
enjoy
I
a little
hear
bit
you.
of this money. And I want
All
you
right.
and I want you to be
Yep.
generous with some of this money. So I want to hear about some kind of like cool trip you did. Like you went to
Okay.
Switzerland, or you rode a cruise ship down the Danube, or I don't know what you want to do. What is it you want to do? You need to go do that. And you need to get you a little
All
better
right.
car and just drive around with a big old millionaire smile on your face.
Okay.
I'm so proud of you. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of Baby Steps Millionaire since you are one. Now that's fun, Ken Coleman.
It's really fun because you could literally hear the light bulbs going off multiple times. You turned the light bulbs on in multiple rooms of her head there. It was like, oh, okay, I am awesome, and I was disciplined, and that was really sweet. Really sweet to see that, and she's been through it, and yet she stayed the course. Really exciting. I want to know what car she's going to buy. That's kind of fun. You'd have to literally convince her to do it. Too.
Oh, I'd have to take her to the dadgum lot, I'm afraid. But
You'd
yeah.
have to drive her up there.
Just drive her up and go, you're getting this one. Okay? But yeah, because, it's one of the things that those of us that you grind and you grind and you hustle and you grind and you grind and you don't even look up.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when you look up, you go, oh, look at there.
Right.
And then you have to build a new muscle.
Yeah.
And that's the muscle of enjoying the money.
It's true.
And being generous with the money at a different level than never before.
You
because
told her
your emotions are still functioning down at one level, but your money's up at another level.
Right. Well, you told her. She said I'm a nerd. And you said, well, you've been a tortoise so long, you haven't noticed. And she's already crossed the finish line. And she didn't realize she won the race. Like she just kept her head down. She crossed the finish line, right? And she just keeps on going. And for the next 3 to 5 years, she's going to stack more money.
Yeah.
Because now she has a paid-for house.
Yeah.
Or is about to.
I was telling a group of business leaders the other day, I'm a turtle on a fence post.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever see a turtle on a fence post when you're walking down a country lane, you'll know two things. One is he didn't get there by himself.
Yeah, that's right. It's the truth.
And two, he's a bit surprised.
What am I doing here?
And that's the feeling you have when you cross over that apex on your wealth building. You've been pushing the rock up the hill for so long. When it finally goes over the hill, you're like, oh God, what do I do now? This actually worked.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's true.
And that's a standard emotion of how do I stop and be generous? How do I stop and enjoy? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to become irrational. I don't want to go buy a $200,000 car, but she sure doesn't need a $20,000 one out of $800,000 or $1 million net worth now and that kind of thing. So what a wonderful, wonderful thing. So here's what I want. We need to somehow bottle that call, and for the group in America that's out there saying you can't make it in America today, we need to remind you that a postal clerk just called here, making $35,000 to $69,000 through her working lifetime and became a millionaire by 59. Mm-hmm. We need to remind you people, the little man can't get ahead. The rich just keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. Wealth inequality is not fair. Let me tell you what the fair is. The fair is where the tilt-a-whirl is and the cotton candy is. That's what fair is. What's fair is that woman put money into her TSP and didn't go out to eat while your butt was down there stuffing tacos. Mm-hmm. And then you want to go, well, it's not fair. Let me tell you what's not fair. It's not fair that you want some of her money and you just let this president raise taxes on her. Tax bill just went through that raised taxes on her. That's not fair.
Oh, now you're getting me excited.
I mean, really. And so this crap, man, and this idea that, this country is so broken that people can't get ahead, that sweet little lady there.
It's true.
Just worked steady, worked hard, worked disciplined, worked consistently. She had a life. She didn't live in a cave and collect lint and only come out on Triple Coupon Thursday, but she was diligent, she was intentional, and she became a millionaire by 59. And then you call me up and tell me it can't happen in America today. Kiss my butt. It can, too. It absolutely can. I talk to these people every day, everywhere I go. And I can't stand it when you hope stealers out there, in the name of your leftist agenda, keep telling people that this place is so broken that you can't win. Hey, we got our problems, but we're still the best shot you got if you're the little man in the entire world. America's still the best shot for the little man in the entire world. That's a statistical fact, you morons. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Peter 4:10, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Tony Dungy says, it's all about the journey, mine and yours, and the lives we can touch, the legacy we can leave, and the world we can change for the better. Truly one of the nicest people on the dadgum planet. Yeah. That guy is incredible.
All class.
So, no question about it. Greg is with us. Greg's in Rhode Island. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Thank you guys for taking my call. Long-time listener, first-time caller, so appreciate it. I'm calling with a question regarding whether or not it would be a good idea for my wife and I to sell one of our cars.
Okay. Why would you do that?
So we are moving this fall to Tennessee, and we currently have two cars. And due to the fact that we sometimes commute to work, but we have jobs that have allowed us to go fully remote once we move. So we're no longer going to need the two cars. So to avoid the expense of shipping one of them, we didn't know if it was worth it given the market and knowing that we're planning on having kids within the next 3-ish years, we'd be wanting to get another one at that point. So,
what are the cars
worth? To know
worth?
what you guys think? So I've gotten a few estimates on the one we're looking to sell, and if we went through a dealer and sold it to them, it would be anywhere from $9,000 to $11,000. But if we tried to do it private party, I think it would be a little bit more than $11,000.
Okay.
Do you owe anything on these cars?
No, they're both paid for.
What do you guys make?
We make around 185,000 household income.
Okay. I would keep the car until you make the move and get settled in the new life, and make sure you don't need it. It's only $11,000. Okay. If you get to Tennessee and you're doing the home work from home thing, and you settle in the rhythm of that for a few months, and you go, really, one of these cars is kind of stupid sitting here, then you can dump it then. But let's test your theory against real life first. It's because it's not enough money to matter in your situation.
Okay, yeah. The other side to it, I don't know if I mentioned, but we are in baby step 2, and we have about $58,000 left in debt to pay off. But we started at $120K.
What's the other car worth?
Probably just a few thousand more than that, maybe like 15.
So your cars aren't your problem. You just had to get organized with your $180,000 income and start knocking the 58 out, right?
Yeah. We started actually paying down the 120 in November of last year, and now it's down to 58. So
way to go! Wow. So
yeah.
So by 6 more months, you're done at that rate.
Yeah, I think our estimated payoff is something like end of February or beginning of March.
Yeah,
that's
what I was thinking. Yeah, very good. Very good. And if the shipping in $11,000 car is a problem, just drive it.
True. Yeah.
Just drive it down here, and then you're in Tennessee. And I if it was a bigger percentage of your income or a bigger percentage of your debt, if it was a bunch of money as a ratio somehow, yeah, I'd probably dump it at that point. I mean, tell me if the car is worth $50,000. Yeah, I might dump it. But it's $11,000 in your situation with as much money as you make. I wouldn't. It just doesn't move the needle mathematically. And so I personally would keep it, drive it down to Tennessee, get your life settled, get yourself out of debt, and then you go, I don't need this car sitting around. Then you get rid of it. But it's not really it's not really a financial necessity that you do that, or a math-based need. Tom is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hey, Tom, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So this is a question of integrity. I've paid off about $60,000 in debt, and I have just a few thousand left, $3,000 on a credit card that I'm 99% sure that I did not take out this credit card, that it's like an identity theft type of thing.
Have you paid on it before?
No, I have not.
You've not paid a dime on it?
No, it was on the very end of my debt snowball.
When did you find out about it?
About like 9 months, 12 months ago.
Why did you not report it as identity theft then?
Because I'm not 100% sure about it. And when I contacted the bank, Huntington Bank, to get the transaction history, I spent about a year trying to get the transaction history, and they won't give it to me. So because they won't give it to me, I have no idea if I actually took it out or not. So I'm not comfortable yet going to the police and filling out a criminal report for a crime that might not have happened.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused about how your life operates where you don't know if you spent $3,000 or not.
Yeah. It's from like 5 years ago is when it was taken out, and it was taken out alongside of another. There were 2 credit cards taken out in my name. One was certainly me. The second one, I'm 99.9% sure wasn't me. So this puts me in a place where my question is if I find out that I guess it doesn't matter if it was me or not. The integrity thing is I should just pay it off. It's my name. I should be responsible for my name.
You're not responsible for identity theft. Not morally, not under any definition of integrity. Those people are bank robbers. You're not responsible for them robbing the bank.
So then it sounds to me like you're leaning towards the option that my integrity is trying to tell me to lean away from, and that's let the banks insurance.
You have a wrong definition of integrity, sir. If someone else robs a bank, it is not your job to make the bank whole. That is not integrity. They robbed a bank. Someone robbed a bank of $3,000. Just because they used your name to do it doesn't make you liable.
Okay.
I think you're feeling guilty for being so disorganized 5 years ago that you're not even sure if this is yours.
No. It's not a feeling of guilt at all. It's like a thing of, I think that our country lacks integrity, and I think
I don't disagree with that. If you told me you had taken this loan out, I would tell you to pay it as a matter of integrity. But you didn't take the loan out, is what you're telling me. I mean, 99.9% is kind of like 100.
Okay, well, let me give you just a real brief backstory. At the time that this happened, I was living in a really bad area of town that was overrun by gangs because I was house sitting a house for somebody for my church. I didn't realize that that's what I was getting into at the time, but that's what I ended up getting myself into. But I'm the one who made the decision to go and live in that bad area, and while I was in that bad area, I'm pretty sure this identity theft thing happened. I think that's where my guilt is. I made a bad decision because of the bad decision that I made. It cultivated.
You lived in an area where people rob banks. One of them robbed a bank. That does not make you responsible for robbing a bank because you lived in an area where people rob banks. If you'll think of this as a bank robber, it'll help you work through the ethics of it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's not.
Okay, dude, go pay the bill if you want. I'm not paying the bill if I don't owe it. I'm done arguing with you.
Yeah.
Okay? But that
is it not a little fishy, Dave, that he calls the holder, the bank of the credit card, and says, "This is me, and I'm getting bills for this. I want to see the transaction history," and they won't share it with him? That seems a little squishy weird to me.
Well, it is weird.
Something's not adding up, and then he feels like he's got to die on this hill here. So and how do you 99.9%? The 0.1? I think he's 100% sure that he didn't take it out. I think he is. I think he's 100% sure that he didn't do this, but he still feels like he has to do it for some reason. I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, it is not an integrity issue. Listen, if you call this show and tell me you don't want to pay a bill that you owe, I'm gonna be all over your butt for integrity. Okay, I do it all the time, and I have for 30 years. But when someone steals your identity, you are not responsible under any scenario for that. Just because you lived in an area where identity thieves live. I mean, if you live in Canada and there's an attorney there in Canada that's trying to rip somebody off on a $13 million scam, are you liable because you live in Canada? No, you're not. That's just absurd. This was that hour for sure. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.